Hi, it's Tim Seelig. I'm here today to bring you a few of my favorite vocal warm-ups. Now, this is not just for singers. I think it would be interesting for everyone to watch. Of course, I would think that because it's my story. But before we do that, I'm going to introduce you to a few of my favorite things that I love to surround myself with here in my home studio. The first, of course, is Grace. Say hi. Hi, Grace. We'll be doing the vocal exercises with us. That's awesome. Bye, Grace. The other ones are a picture of me with the Queen of England. The caption under that picture is Lucky Queen. I also have the Guinness Book of World Records from 2003, which you wonder, why does he have that? Well, thanks for asking. It's because in 2003, the Turtle Creek Chorale and I got awarded the Guinness World Record for the longest choral concert. 20 hours and 22 seconds. Yes, it's true. Then we move over to this side of the piano, and we have this relic right here that is actually the Olympic torch from the Atlanta Olympics. The one and only time I ever ran, was to carry this torch in 1996 as a community hero for my work in AIDS activism. It was quite a thrill, and I have not run since. Some of my other things today that are my favorite, of course, we're here because of vocal warm-ups. You already know that. When I, probably much like you, when you were 3 years old, someone came to visit, maybe friends or family, and your parents put you up on the piano bench and said, perform for the people. And you did a rousing rendition of ABCs, or maybe You Are My Sunshine, and the crowd went wild. Not exactly the way it happened, but at 3 we all started singing, and so it became second nature for many of us. Not all, but probably most. So when I then decided I would be an opera singer, it was an exciting time and fairly natural progression from the 3-year-old piano bench, I guess. I traded it in on some of the really great stages. Then, some years ago, 33 years ago in fact, I took a left turn and became a conductor, a full-time conductor. Time flies. A little more than a decade ago, a friend of mine, Greg Gilpin, asked me to write a book on choral warm-ups and the vocal technique. So he did. I did. I thought I was not old enough to write a book, and he said, yeah, you're way old enough. So I wrote this book called The Perfect Blend, and it also has a DVD companion. But after 5 printings and 2 editions, there's a brand new one. So these are bye-bye. We'll put them down with Grace. You like those books your daddy wrote? Oh, yes, you did. 5 more books followed, all about choral technique. The next one is actually my memoir. Stay tuned for that. It's kind of scary. So the second edition of The Perfect Blend is what we're talking about today. I took 2 of my favorite things, singing and food, and meshed them together for the perfect blend. So everything that we're going to do today has to do with 5 food groups. And I'm going to give you my favorite 1 vocalese out of each of those 5 food groups. The 5 food groups of singing and, of course, of a 5-course meal are appetizer, posture, soup, breathing, salad, phonation, entree, resonance, and dessert is art, just making art. At the end, we may get around to a bonus chapter called The 3 Bears. Either stay tuned or fast forward. You won't want to miss it. Here we go. As I mentioned earlier, many of us began our singing career at the age of 3 on a piano bench. And from there we just assumed, everyone assumed, we knew how to sing and how to hold our instrument for singing. Well, we didn't. When you study a musical instrument, the first thing the teacher tells you is how to hold your instrument. But we've made assumptions that we know how. We don't. One of my favorite posture exercises is called the list. And here's how it goes. So I want you to do these with me. So get up from wherever you are, get up and come on, let's work on it. Feet 6 to 8 inches apart, one well in front of the other one. So you're balanced side to side and front to front. Push down on your thighs so that you have equal pressure on the balls of your feet and your heels. So you can move forward and back, but basically you're balancing that. Take your pelvis and sit slightly down on that sound, which is going to really help. If you don't do it, then you got this way back pony and your butt sticking out and it's not attractive to anyone. So put your pelvis under. Let's roll our shoulders around, up and forward, drop them back. Make sure your sternum is beautiful, up and stretched. Make sure your chin is below horizontal, never above horizontal. Below horizontal, smile at me, eyes sparkling, mind engaged. And you're standing there, and if you did all that, you think I could never sing like this. Okay, fine. So go back and slump. Go back to your original natural state and slump. Be a little angry, like this, like you had to go to choir rehearsal. It was horrible. And then on the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to hold your instrument for singing and go back to as many of that list as you can remember. 1, 2, 3. And I'm ready to sing. Okay, moving on. So there are a million posture exercises. That's just one that I like about holding your instrument for singing. Breathing, that's the soup. Well, we finished the appetizer. Now we're on to the soup of breathing. There are also a million breathing exercises. This just happens to be my favorite. This is the one that I think has a guarantee of filling up the lower lobes of the lungs. It was supposedly invented by a castrato named Farinelli, but I think that's just, I think somebody made that up. It goes like this. We count 8 counts while inhaling and raising our arms. So this happens like this. When we get to the top, roll your shoulders around and drop them back. Take in another pint of air and pant. Another pint and as you do this, the chest is staying high, the sternum is up, the shoulders are dropping back, the chin is below horizontal. Let all your air out, let it up. Then take a nice deep breath. And you will find that you filled up the lower lobes of your lungs. Because when we're up here, the reason I do this way is because sometimes we do that, roll your shoulders around, drop them back. Sometimes we take a breath and go and close off the vocal folds or the glottis. And that's not helpful. And then we get to the top and we think, oh, I'm full. And that's why I say, no, take another pint. Great, take another cup. And we're filling all the way down into the bottom lobes of the lungs. Going back to that, hold your instrument as you exhale so that the chest is remaining high and not sagging. That's my favorite breathing exercise. That's the soup. We've had the appetizer, the list, we've had the soup, the Farinelli, and finally we're getting to phonation. This is that little 1/2 to 3/4 inch vocal fold, or vocal cord as you know it, that sits right here. It doesn't actually go sideways. It doesn't actually stretch like that. So it's that big. Show yourself 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch if you're a bass, like that much. An octave actually looks like this. Oh, didn't go anywhere. It has nowhere to go. When we get to phonation, we add the air to the vocal folds. We have multiple ways of doing that, from tight to breathy. Somewhere we're going to land in the middle. But my favorite exercise of all, it's actually the key to life, is the messa di voce, and that's crescendo, decrescendo. And you should all do this at home. Now get up. If you sat back down, get yourself up. Here we go. It sounds like this. So we go crescendo, decrescendo. Try and keep it as even as you can on the way up, and the harder part is keeping it as even as you can on the way down. You can choose whatever note you want to do it on. It can be low. If you can do it in the top part of your range, good for you. You should be a famous singer. So messa di voce will come into play a lot in our singing. Of course, we're all great at crescendos. We're not great at decrescendos. What I like to do is count, again, to 8 while I'm doing it. So the fortissimo, sorry if that was too loud, fortissimo is my 8. All the way down to 1. Then I challenge myself to go, okay, sing a 3, sing a 6, sing a 1. Sing an 8. I won't do it because it makes the little thing go roar, 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 roar. It's loud. So I remember kinesthetically what those numbers were. It's one of my favorite things to do on my own, or certainly with a chorus. Okay, that's your salad, phonation. The next one is resonance. Resonance is once you get all the posture and the breathing and the phonation just right, all this stuff from here down, the real proof of the pudding is in resonance. And the way I like to explain it is woofer and tweeter. Now, those of you who are near my age, remember that we used to have stereo speakers, and they were this big, and the front would fall off, and there was a little speaker, and there was a big speaker. It was awesome. And that was the tweeter, and that's the woofer. The youngsters today, whose speakers are this big, don't have that honor or privilege or joy of seeing a stereo speaker fall off. However, they do know what woofers are because some people put them in the trunk of their car, making their car go dum, 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 which is just tacky. And they also know that there is a tone knob on their devices. So it can go from treble to bass. It goes to treble so they can hear all the dirty words in rap, and it goes to bass when they want to hear smooth jazz, or they want the room to shake on the bass beats. So we have tweeter and woofer. You have a tweeter, touch it. No, don't touch your face. We're in the virus days. Tweeter, woofer. Tweeter, woofer. Looks like this. If I sing from tweeter to woofer, it looks like this. Now, I did that attempting not to change vowels, although I just have so much fun with it that by the end I'm going, I'm doing total full-on Ethel Merman just because I think it's fun, and this is the cowardly lion back here. Well, those are woofers and tweeters. So I absolutely tell my chorus all the time, or singers, no. I don't use the word that's too dark. I say there's too much tweeter in that. I'll get to this with the Three Bears bonus, so you better hang on. Oh, right in the middle. Everything that we do in voice is a pendulum, and we want to land right in the middle. So you got woofer and tweeter as your entree, because pretty much it's going to determine the color with which you sing or your chorus. And finally, we get to dessert, and that's making art. Oh boy, it's almost impossible to choose just one. I wanted to do vowels because I love matched vowels, but I decided that I would do what I call red dotting, and that's in the days when we actually used to have red pencils, but we don't have those anymore. So it's just dotting. So if I sing, if I say to you, oh beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, you think, I wonder why he's speaking like that. Well, you would feel the same thing if I went, oh beautiful for spacious skies, for So I go through with my chorus, don't do every single song, but I say, okay, put a dot over beau, space, grain. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain. I teach that to my singers by having them sing the ABCs. A, B, C, D. So they know what my gestures are going to be on the syllables that need the emphasis that have the dot over them. This will begin, when you do this from the very beginning, your chorus will sing musically from the outset. So there you have it. You have the appetizer of posture, that was the list. You have the soup, that was breathing, Farinelli. You have the phonation, which was messa di voce. You have the resonance, which is woofer and tweeter. And finally you have dotting the important words and syllables to make your singing, and you're singing with the choir or yourselves. Okay, I promised a bonus, the Three Bears. This one actually has to do with resonance, but it's really my favorite one of all. Once upon a time, there were three bears, and they were sitting around the table eating their porridge, and it was all just right. They got it all the right temperature. Bear number one Bear number one decided, I'll sing something. Bear number one sings space in the front, vowels in the front. Bear number one sings, oh beautiful for spacious skies. Bear number two, he sings differently. He sings with space in the back and vowels in the back. He sings, oh beautiful for spacious skies. You probably have that bass in your church choir. I know you have that second tenor in your choir, bear number 1. Bear number 3, he's got it all together. He sings vowels in the front, space in the back. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies. Oh, a beautiful vowels always here. Sometimes they sing opposing songs. Well, that's not true. Sometimes they like to sing in sequence. It goes like this. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain. I always end green for bear number 1 because it's so pretty. It's not nearly as pretty as if I went red. Who wants to hear that? It's bear number 3 who took this and that and put his vowels in the front and kept the space open. That is the sound we're looking for. Okay, those are a few of my favorite things. Those are actually 5 vocalises of the 140 that are in the perfect blend. So if you're interested in like a few more, order the book or just call me. I'll give you some more. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on SFGMC TV.